Thanks, Riv. I'm joined by Kez and Robert Exley after one of the most grueling matches we have seen in a very long time. As a matter of fact, at 65 minutes and 30 seconds, it's the longest game in the NALCS this year. How does that feel, coming off a game like that?
Oh, I'm not sure how I should feel about it, because it means that we're so bad, like both of us are so bad that we can't close the game, or we're very even and it's head to head. I'd say it's a little bit of both. We were playing very passive and just trying to get small leads. Meanwhile, because what happened in our yesterday game against COG, we're like, oh man, we're crushing them. 23-minute Baron. Oh, we threw. Whoops. And this time it's safe play, or we're gonna throw again.
Yeah, in a really long game like that, how much does mental stamina play a factor?
Mental stamina was definitely a big factor. Actually, for me personally, it was 15 minutes into the game, and I was like, it's 15 minutes into the game? I thought it was like 30 minutes.
Oh.
So time kind of just flew by for me. But those last 20 minutes of the game was very grueling and emotional for our team.
All right, and I want to go all the way back about an hour ago to Champion Select here. Kez, you guys set up what looked like a Yasuo composition, and then Yasuo just kept getting camped in the mid lane. How does that adjust your team's strategy and basically focus on a different win condition?
Well, basically, at first we were really looking into playing Yasuo, but since they first picked, I think they first picked Syndra, so we had a really good Yasuo comp with the first pick Lulu, so we just changed our strat to that.
You changed your strategy to
playing Yasuo.
Oh, just playing Yasuo out of the Champion Select. So when Yasuo started getting camped in the middle lane, did you just change it to Robert's going to carry now, or are we just going to continue to focus on probably put him on a side lane and have him farm?
Well, when Yasuo started getting camped, I was just like, well, Yasuo's just getting camped. I guess I should focus on other lanes more. So.
Absolutely. Well, and so in doing so, we watched both the top turret and the bottom turret go down relatively early. You guys were able to push really hard with the Tristana and the Nami, as well as the Lulu over the Jax. So was the idea there just to accelerate the game as quickly as possible?
With the lane swap?
Well, having and then but just pushing the turrets early, right? You have Tristana and Nami, which is great pushing power.
So in the 2v2 bottom, we actually had a good lead over them, and it was to the point where they're conceding everything, and we just got free hits on the turret, and it just ended up working out. And probably was telling us that he was struggling really hard middle, so we just called like, how would you do against a 1v1 Twitch? And he's like, that's easy. So that's what we did. I go mid lane, probably goes bottom lane, and actually it worked out very nicely just because the fact that Twitch couldn't farm against Yasuo. And if you notice, I noticed like 30 minutes of the game, I had about 300 farm, and Altic meanwhile had 180, and it's definitely a good strat. That wasn't like our intention, but it just worked out despite like with the crappy situation we were put into.
Yeah, you guys had a ton of CS at that point. I want to take it back a little bit before the 30-minute mark. There's an ace that happened about 22 minutes at the Dragon fight. We're going to have a replay up on your screen in a second. Kez, walk me through this replay here.
Okay. Well, this fight we kind of wanted to fight because we knew we were a little bit behind. And Helios actually jumps in, so we actually found a really good opportunity to catch Lee Sin first. And Syndra was in a really bad position, so we caught him out there too. And after that, the fight is just kill Twitch, just kite out Jax, and it was a pretty easy fight.
And Robert just keeps kiting backwards, and you guys end up getting 2 turrets off the back of that, and just accelerating the game more and more. But EG was just...
Yeah, that was a really good turning point for us.
Well, so one of the things that I want to touch on coming out of that fight, right? As he mentioned, you got the ace, you got 2 turrets. That's a pretty big gold swing. And throughout the rest of the game, we saw it rise and fall, switch hands a couple times. As a player, how do you interpret your gold lead and your power spikes? What are the key factors you're looking at in order to determine when you're ahead and when you're not?
I would say that we were even though we had a big lead gold-wise, we were still playing very passive because they had a very pick-oriented comp with Lee Sin, Braum, Syndra, and Twitch. So despite the goal lead, we still couldn't push up. And we couldn't find an opportunity to ward. And actually, when we did go to ward, we got picked off a couple times, which led to, I think we gave them like 2 dragons for free because we just did not have the vision and we couldn't walk into them. So we were thinking, our team outskills them. Tristana, the 1v5 god, kind of not really in that game. I would say that West did a very big part in that game. So I would say we're just looking to outscale.
All right. And in the bottom, you guys ended up having a really great rotation and caught EG without Altec and Helios, and you got a bottom inhibitor turret practically for free, and Helios was trying to flank around the side. What happens in that type of split-second decision where you're trying to just take advantage of a crack in the armor?
Yeah, when the enemies make a rotation that we can't find the opportunity to make the play, then we should make the play, and that's what we did. So we got the free inhib turret. I mean, after we got the inhib turret, we couldn't do much about it, but I think it was still worth.
All right, well, we're going to move forward into our final replay here, which is the last fight of the game, the one that you won, to move on and get your first win against EG. But what I want to know from you guys is, in these late-game scenarios, when everyone's 6 items, who's making the shot, like the shot calling, right? Like, where are the decisions coming from? Is it a free-for-all? Where, just walk me through it and let me know who's making the decisions.
So, I guess I can start this. So we wanted to take down the inhibs. We're just banking that we're stronger than them. We actually get a really big chunk onto Braum, and I'm pretty sure it's followed up by a very big chunk onto Jax, and that's what escalated the fight. And from here, I was just looking to kite back because I know Syndra was trying to chase after me, and Syndra actually went too far, couldn't catch me, and gets stuck, left for dead. And from here, I jumped all the way into Altec, and from here the fight was over. I would say the big 2 factors in that fight was Syndra went for the kill onto me, but I actually got away from her, and then followed up by I re-engaged into the fight and got onto Twitch. Meanwhile, my team is creating havoc, so they actually gave me the opportunity for that team fight.
All right, so when you do enter those late game situations, what are the calls like? Are they very hectic, or is everybody just shouting somebody's name, get that guy?
For me personally, I'm like just in my zone. I'm not even saying anything. I'm just making sure, like, dude, anyone can kill me, and I'm really scared. So I'm playing like a big lady right now, and once I got my chance to attack, that's where it worked out well. Meanwhile, my team was calling targets on CCs, and that's actually a good point. That's why we got the chunk onto Braum and the chunk onto Jax, because Wes and Kez. Who's that? What's our support's name? Bubba. There we go.
that guy.
You laned with him. Wow, that communication. Not going to question it right now. But what's happening in your mind during that?
I'm just trying to hit as many cocoons as possible. Like, I'm not yelling like cocoons when I'm throwing cocoons, but when I hit them, I'll be like, just hit that guy and chunk him.
All right, one final question. You guys play Dig and C9 tomorrow. You've beaten both of them. C9 you've beaten twice without giving them a win of their own. What's your game plan going in? It's a 2-game day, so what's the pressure like on those types of days? How are you going to deal with it?
Well, we just got to play really safe, because I'm not sure about now, because we already beat Dig and C9 once, but I feel like they kind of disrespect us as a team. But I think if they do that again, we can obviously win and bank on that. So we just got to play really safe and farm.
All right. Well, best of luck to the both of you in your match tomorrow. Thanks for joining us here on the desk. We've got to take a quick break while we patch up some minions. When we return, we'll jump into our next match, LMQ versus Curse. We'll be right back.